Well, hello, active traders, and welcome to our Forex Success Tips presentation. I'm Ken Calhoun. I'm joined by my longtime colleague, Peter Bain from ForexMentor.com. Peter, it's great to have you with us here tonight.
Yeah, Ken, thanks for the invite. I always look forward to working with you. I always learn from you, and it's always a pleasure to be working with our audience. So here's to a successful webinar.
Yeah, it's great to see. We're going to start off by looking at live charts. We're also going to go over our Forex Success Mastery system, and we haven't done a webinar on this in quite some time, so we thought it might be a good idea to catch everybody up to speed on the system itself and how it works and the rest of it. So that's coming right up. And you might want to bookmark that page. It's got lots of videos that you can look at, taken from a live Las Vegas seminar at ForexSuccessMastery.com. And also a lot of video testimonials from some of the attendees who are really thrilled with what they learned from Peter and I. So we've got lots of video content and previews and the rest of it to look at exclusively at Forex Success Mastery. So we hope that you will consider owning that course and ordering if you've not yet ordered it. But we're going to start off by looking at some really actionable tips and strategies for our current markets. As always, just for compliance note, all information is for educational use only. We're not making advice or recommendations about what to buy, sell, or hold. We make no profitability or performance claims. It's all for educational use only. So the Forex Success Mastery system is filmed live at a Las Vegas seminar that Peter and I did recently. And Peter, it was really enjoyable doing the live seminar with you. It was great seeing all the traders turn out and great sharing the stage with you for that event.
Yeah, it was exciting. It was at the MGM Grand, and which is an exciting venue, and you put so much effort into organizing the event. I remember that you hired the best video production company in Vegas, who had done some interesting work with well-known names before. So good preparation on your part, and the event was just a lot of fun. Great to be in front of a live audience and fielding questions and getting to know people and so on and so forth. So yeah, that was I always love going to Vegas and doing these events.
Yeah, it was really neat. So all of you can get your own front row seat by looking at the system. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Just a quick introduction by way of introduction. Peter Bain's the co-founder of Forex Mentor. He's a trusted name in Forex-related courses. He's the best guy I know out there in Forex. He's started the Big Dogs course back in the early 2000s, and he's one of the top respected guys in the whole trading industry, and he's the go-to guy for Forex, which is why I approached him and thankfully he agreed to work with me. We've both spoken back when Money Show had Forex. They actually did have Forex trading expos a decade ago, back in the day. Both Peter and I were featured speakers for that event. So we do have industry credibility, and it's great to work with Peter Bain. So anyway, let us jump into our markets and take a look at what's going on. We're going to start off by looking at a kind of a 3-month chart here on 90-day candlestick pattern of the US dollar to the Canadian dollar. And one of the patterns that you'll learn about in the Forex Success Mastery system is a kind of a proprietary MACD crossover system that Peter developed many, many years ago, and it works so well I'm astonished. It's like it is the single most consistent pattern I've seen in my life as a trader, because his MACD crossover approach, when used correctly, when you learn all the details behind it that you can learn in the system, I won't say guarantees results, but one of the most consistent patterns I've ever seen in my life as a trader. Peter, did you want to walk them through what's going on here in the dollar CAD with this MACD crossover and how the MACD crossover approach works? Because I know you cover that in the Mastery system in detail for our traders, but now maybe a good time to get them up to speed on what this pattern is and how it can benefit them.
Yeah, it's quite simple, Ken. And if people in the audience are looking for one and only one strategy to follow that will make money, this is the one that I highly recommend, because what we look for is, in this case, for MACD to go completely oversold below the waterline and then turn around and punch up through its trigger line. That becomes the trigger for the trade. And if you look at price action, you'll notice that price swooned and then bottomed out and then reversed course to form a downtrend reversal pattern. That's something else I teach is pattern recognition. This turned out to be a downtrend reversal pattern where we had leg one down, all the red candles down were leg one, and then we had price reversal, price rejection at the bottom, and leg two up. Leg two is usually the same distance as leg one, but of course the signal to enter the trade was MACD going oversold and then punching up through his trigger line. It just doesn't get any easier for that. So you're probably saying, well, that's well and easy, but how often do you see MACD do that? Well, the answer to that is if you don't see that happening, say on the 1 hour chart, which is a good chart to trade, or the 15-minute chart, or even the 4 hour chart, you can cycle through all 26, 28 pairs on your trading platform and look for this particular instance. Throughout the trading day, even if you have a day job when you're at home, you can go through all your pairs and look for instances where MACD goes oversold like this and then punches up through its trigger line. It's a moneymaker. And an easy answer to, well, people say, okay, that's fine, you get into the trade, but when do you get out of the trade? Well, an easy answer to that is to stay in the trade as long as MACD, the red line, stays above the green line. And you'll notice that MACD came down. It did actually cut down through the green line right about there. You would have done well with that trade just by holding it as long as MACD was above its trigger line. Of course, you could have held on longer, but I'm just saying that if you're looking to grab profits within a reasonable period of time, that's one way of doing it. Of course, you could have held on longer. But anyway, that's the magic of MACD. It's my favorite indicator. What you don't see here is the histogram. MACD consists not only of MACD and its trigger line, but it also consists of a histogram, which is available on most trading platforms. So that's about it for this one, Ken. Like I said before, if you're looking to use this strategy, just cycle through all your pairs on your trading platform, and you will invariably find a situation where MACD goes oversold like this, and as soon as MACD punches up through its trigger line, you've got yourself a trade. It doesn't require any other strategy other than that.
Yeah, and the neat thing about this is, number one, it's so consistent. It took me all of 2 minutes to find this chart for tonight, going through my live charts this afternoon in preparation for today's webinar. But also, for those of you who trade small account sizes, maybe you're doing a micro or mini lots or one standard lot or whatnot, and this is a really good way to get in on a trade, at a very first sign of a great pivot signal. And for those of your fellow candlestick aficionados, this is not quite, but almost a bullish engulfing. It kind of acts like it. It's almost, maybe not technically wrapped around this, but anyway, you can trade small account size and combine these patterns for a really good, very potentially consistent approach. And like Peter said, as long as the red line stays over the green, you're good to go. And once it breaks back down, you can sell. And that's a really good pattern. Now let's take a look at some others. One thing that I think can help you as a trader is to look for not only reversals like this, but also breakouts. And I specialize in breakout trading. And the MACD reversal pattern is one, the MACD crossover pattern is one that Peter teaches in the Forex Success Mastery system. And that's, I don't recall offhand which of the videos. We turned it from a physical DVD system, which took a lot of work to author, into a downloadable video course. And in this, there's 12 different videos. So it's bite-sized chunks, so like an hour each or whatever. So that way you can order the system. And here's some previews taken from the live event. And you can see exactly the level of depth and detail. Also includes PDFs, so you get a full resource center, included, or full resources for that. Anyway, back to charts. So that's one of the strategies that Peter teaches in the system. One of the things that I like to cover is breakout charts. Like Peter said, often if you don't find a chart pattern that's to your liking, you can often cycle through different charts. Like the dollar Swiss did a really good breakout just recently today in the process of breaking a new highs. And one thing that you can often look for is what I teach is use cup breakouts. So if on this is a 12-day chart, you see it breaking out to new highs. Often what happens with some of the trades is that you get a false breakout. And so avoiding false breakouts by using what I call a safety buffer, maybe 30 pips above the high before you enter, and then pull the trigger, gets often in on a good continuous move up. So one pattern that you'll often learn in the system from me is things like cup breakouts. Also ADX, average directional index, when it breaks over the 30 line after having been below it for any length of time, a couple of days or so, and it breaks over the 30. That's often a good buy signal, and that can get you in even earlier on a breakout. So breakout signals are also something that you'll be learning about in the system.
Here's an example, Ken, of the reverse for MACD. You'll notice MACD going overbought and then punching down through its trigger line, and you can see, have a look at price action, and you can see how that could have been used as a signal to take a short trade here. Yeah, that's where MACD punched down through its trigger line.
Right. You can see how well it would have worked too. Let's say you'd been in it from sometime earlier, say on a position trade or a longer term trade, or even you just bought a breakout. What I teach, this is a good combination of the synergy, good example of synergy. One of the patterns that I teach for breakout candlesticks is to look for a large green candle at the right side of a congestion zone or a bullish cup. And often a large green candle, and you buy above the high of that green candle, makes for a good breakout. So even if you didn't get a MACD crossover to get you in, my signal for a breakout trade would have got you in, and the MACD would have safely gotten you out into the exact freaking top, right? Because I would not have known or had a good intelligent way to get out of this trade had it not been for the MACD crossover up here, because it just kept skyrocketing on up. And when do you know when to take profit? And if all of you listening are like any of our other traders, you often find that entries and exits, knowing exactly what pattern to use to enter, whether it's one of Peter's patterns or like he covered for you initially, or this breakout pattern that I'm covering for you now, that gets you in on the trade. But then how long do you hold the trade before it exhausts? And Peter told you exactly this would be a good place to either exit an open long or initiate a new short, or both if you want to get fancy about it. But that was the pivot signal that would have provided a potentially very profitable trading signal for either exiting a winning long or initiating a new short. So yeah, Peter, that's a good signal.
And again, the trick is either in an uptrend or downtrend is to keep your eye on MACD in relation to its trigger line and hold the trade, be it a long trade or a short trade, as long as you have angle and separation between MACD and its trigger line.
Yeah, that's a good point. Can you go in a little detail on separation? Because that's one place where I had some ambiguity initially too, because like here is not separated very much, but this is separated nicely. And that's one thing that really helped me a lot learn how to implement your strategy, Peter. And can you tell our folks what you mean by separation?
Well, the distance between the red line and the green line, the angle, you have a 30-degree angle or so upward move there with MACD and its trigger line, and MACD is well above the trigger line, so we've got good angle and separation there. And of course it peaks out, and you'll notice that in concert with that, price action forms a 1, 2, 3 top. If you look at the price action at the top, you get a nice 1, 2, 3 top in there. Right. And of course that would be the time to go short, just when MACD punches down through its trigger line. And of course, hold that as a short trade as long as MACD is below the trigger line all the way down, good angle and separation, and then of course get out right there. Pretty simple strategy, that's just about all I can say about it. A strategy, you want to be watching price action as this occurs, because you want to keep your eye on what happens with MACD. But certainly it's a strategy that works. It's pretty foolproof, as you can see,
Yeah,
because this is the second chart that we've looked at early on in this webinar where this strategy works. So like I said before, all you have to do is cycle through your pairs and look for instances where MACD goes either overbought in this case or oversold.
right, and I'm so impressed because it's such a remarkable. We've been doing webinars for years together, and this never fails to produce successful alerts. I mean, it's like bulletproof. I've not seen any false signals generated by this pattern that you came across, and so it's really good. Now, one thing so traders, you need to learn this. It needs to be part of your. Now, there's more to it than what we have time to cover in tonight's brief briefing, and we go into great detail in the Forex Success Mastery system, which is on sale now at forexsuccessmastery.com. But from a technical trading standpoint, one thing that I think can also help you as a trader is give preference. This is a rider downer. Give preference to charts that are clean, in focus, nice tight trading range charts like this, because they make for much easier trades. You have much less second guessing of your trades compared to, I don't know, let's go find a choppy chart somewhere. Something like that one's kind of choppy and loopy. It's hard to trade. That one's not so bad. That one's clean and nice. So this one's kind of choppy and would be difficult. And it still would have worked, I mean, but with some gnashing of teeth and some anxiety because of the chop and churn. So when you're looking for good trade setups as a Forex trader, one thing that can really help is identify charts that look like they're nice, sharp. I like going to the eye doctor. Which one's sharper, A or B? And you're looking for these kind of charts. You got a nice, clean, tight price action channels. And I know Peter also teaches patterns like the 1, 2, 3 reversal and different patterns that you can use in conjunction with these charts as well. So that's good. Quick note here before we move on. Another potential reversal sign. For those of you who are familiar with candles, in lieu of or instead of, say, there's no shooting star, no tweezer top or railroad tracks, no bearish engulfing, so there's no classic candlestick sign to get out. Peter's MACD crossover worked brilliantly. That would have been the exact place to get out. It works also well with a strategy that I teach in the course and that I use in my own real money trades, which is on a daily candlestick chart like this guy, if you see 2 red candles in a downtrend, that's often a break of the trend. That makes for a good exit stage left as well. So Peter's signal would have got you out, and so would have mine. Coincidentally, right at the same exact the action would have been right after this day, and they both added up. But if you see 2 red candles in a row, a loss of support of those also makes for a good sell signal. And Peter's signal would have been better because it would have got you out closer to the exact top, but they both work, and so that's something I would add to the mix too, is clean charts. Peter, any thoughts on that? Because I found in my trading, both in Forex and in equities and ETFs and all that, the cleaner and tighter the chart, in general, the easier it is to trade versus fuzzy caterpillar, loopy up and down charts that are all over the place. Like you would say, like a kangaroo on speed. I don't like charts like those either. I like charts that are clean and well mannered, and when they run, they run, and when they stop, they stop. And it's easy to trade if you can see how clean and tight the chart is.
Well, I think the trick, Ken, is not to fall in love with a pair. Like, you know, you hear of traders at cocktail parties say, I trade the euro or I trade the pound. I mean, this isn't a love affair. You want to trade a pair that's cooperating, where the chart pattern is trader friendly. This is one of those, a nice clean price action. You want to avoid charts where it looks like kangaroos jumping up and down on speed, as you said before. Choppy charts are very difficult to trade. And you don't need to trade them because you can cycle through all the pairs on your trading platform and look for nice clean charts like this one here. The only other thing to be said here is in terms of reversal situations, you'll notice where Ken's arrow is, that at the top of price action, we had a topping out process. We had almost looks like a triple top, definitely a double top in price action where price met resistance at the top. And then it formed a 1, 2, 3 top after that. There's a red candle, green candle, and a green candle after that. That forms a 1, 2, 3 top. That's a classic topping formation. So lots of indications that price action was rejecting at these heights. And of course, the drop in price confirmed by MACD punching down through its trigger line. So this is a good tradable chart, one that you'd want to work with.
Right. And one of the things that I think, we're touching on some of the types of patterns and some of the general strategies. Really, where, all of you listening out here, all the hundreds, if not thousands of you that'll be watching this on YouTube in future days, weeks, and months ahead. The Forex Success Mastery System is where Peter and I teamed up to teach the detailed, specific ins and outs of these patterns. This was not for newbie traders, even though new traders were there and got a lot out of it, but this is not a introduction to Forex. This is a PIP. This is the currency markets. This is much more a roll up your sleeve and see early on we're getting into powerhouse price patterns, charts and signals, how to trade the strongest charts. And we even have a innovative picture-in-picture video format with these where, with many of the videos, either I or Peter will be talking to you in one corner and you'll see the highlight of the charts that we're talking about in the main screen, like this right here. So see where Peter may be talking to either through a PowerPoint slide or some charts. I took well over, I think it was something like 315, hundreds of hours of time to painstakingly, meticulously create the best Forex course out there, because we have not talking heads, not fuzzy charts. We have crystal clear charts, plus Peter Bain, the top Forex mentor, and myself, really great breakout trader, teaming up together. But Peter, any thoughts on this picture-in-picture format? Because I think it's a really neat way for people to see you and me, for the ones that have me in it, talking to the audience directly, kind of like a point of view, a POV look. You can see as though you were there at a live seminar, learning from us directly, coupled with the benefit of crystal clear charts in the background versus, like fuzzy charts in the back and the person talking. As soon as we talk about making a point, I went to this mode where we had a picture-in-picture. So traders who want to acquire the system will enjoy that as a benefit as well.
Yeah, I think you did a great job, Ken, of slicing and dicing the presentation, because I ended up going to Vegas with, I can't remember how many slides, PowerPoint slides, I took with me. I spent 6 months getting ready for this seminar, and I covered a myriad of topics, and I think you did a good job of chunking the presentation down into manageable pieces, as you're showing here. So that, combined with the excellent video crew that we had, I think the outcome was outstanding.
Yeah, like you said, the video crew, they are the best ones. They brought in $75,000 worth of network broadcast quality camera gear, and they've worked with Toyota, ESPN, Sony, and CBS. And CNN. So we hired the very best camera crew in Vegas. They're the biggest and best, and they did not disappoint. They captured the seminar brilliantly, and it's a 2-day seminar. The highlights of the entire thing, over a dozen hours of training captured on video for everybody. So we'll get back to the charts in just a second, but I just wanted to do a quick aside to mention some of the features that traders will get once they order the Forex Success Mastery System. But this is a landmark system. If you are a Forex trader who's struggling, or you're a stock trader who's thinking about Forex, you owe it to yourself to take a look at the preview videos for yourself, right? Unlike other people that sell trading systems and don't show you what you're getting, I think try before you buy is a good deal, right? So you can see a lot of minutes of preview videos taken from each of the premium videos that you'll get once you order. So good deal. It's good stuff. And we're proud of it.
Yeah, Ken, you, I think it's worthy of mention. I remember after the Vegas event, you spent, I can't remember how many months, 3, 4, 5 months, putting this, taking all the footage and creating this course out of the footage. And I think you even gave up a trip to Japan to be with your family to put this together. Just a phenomenal amount of work that you put into creating the end product from 2 days of footage. So that was a lot of work on your part, and the outcome was just fantastic.
Well, thanks. Well, I wanted to do it right because you're the best guy in Forex to work with, and so you deserve it. The traders deserve it. You can see the the testimonials from a lot of the people who attended, what they got out of it, why they liked it so much. And there's really good feedback for this. And again, this is not some $2,000 system with monthly charges or anything. It's under $1,000. It's a bargain, and you get lots of videos and lots of training, tons of. And by the way, read I don't know how many comments there is, dozens and dozens, over 168 traders who posted their comments about this on the website. So you can read what they say. I'm not going to read this stuff, but these are great compliments from our valued traders. Nearly 200 comments from traders, and the crowd goes wild. So anyway, they wrote so many wonderful things, and I'm really thankful to the enthusiastic response of the Forex community, the trading community, for the system. And we include a bunch of bonuses, and you can order it at the system. Yeah, it's only $6.95. It's still down there. This is definitely a $12.95, or $19.97, $2,000 type course. But to make it affordable for everybody, we slashed the price down to $6.95. So that's Forex Success Mastery. Let's go back to the charts. Oh, go ahead, Peter. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about this, Ken, not only because of the content, but because of the price. There are other, obviously, course makers out there who charge a heck of a lot less. There's one in particular. I won't mention the person's name. Yeah, I won't mention the person's name, but he sells his course for something like $2,000. As a matter of fact, he sent me his course just for my preview, and when it arrived, I was quite impressed because it was a nicely boxed. It was, I don't know, half a dozen modules in a box. It looked beautiful on the shelf. But when I started going through it, I didn't pay $2,000 for it. It was a gift. But when I started going through it, I realized from the get-go that there was nothing there. There was nothing that you could really hang your hat on. There was nothing that was really tradable, from what I can see. And here he goes selling his course for $2,000 to unsuspecting people, and there's nothing in there that's worthwhile. Whereas with this course, you and I put the best of the best in here, and once you go through it, you'll see that there's something in here for everybody. Of course, I cover the MACD strategy that we've been talking about, but there's just so much more in there that we can't cover today.
Right, yeah, I know you cover the shotgun trade, which is a great setup. You cover pivot points. I cover all my best breakout strategies and the rest of it. And you're right, so many systems out there. If you look at other places, you look at it for a few minutes and you realize that person doesn't know what they're talking about. They're not even a real trader, right? And it kind of comes through. But Peter Bain and I are authentic industry experts with credibility and credentials. We've been around since the dawn of time, it seems. But we've both been featured at the World Forex Trading Expos. We are authentic experts. We are veteran traders, and we can really help you trade with this system. So we make it up on volume. We instead of selling it at $2,000 and all that, it's only $6.95. But we have so many traders who've enjoyed getting it. It's relatively new. It's only a couple of years old, so it's got lots of great content that you can use. You can see testimonials. You can see ample previews, which, by the way, other guys don't show, right? We proudly show example footage from this course. Most educators are afraid to because they realize that if people saw what they were getting, they wouldn't buy it. We, on the other hand, are popular with traders because we're very upfront and honest and authentic, and we show you good, honest preview clips so you can see the quality and the professionalism of what you're getting. And these preview clips are extremely good way for you to get a kind of a sample of what exactly you'll be learning once you order the entire course. We even did Trader Hot Seats, which is where we try and solve traders' problems. They'd come up and talk about entries and exits or scanning or how do we know when to get out or how do I manage risk, and we were answering questions for traders using live chart examples as well. And so really pleased with the way this thing turned out. It's a lifetime best course in Forex. It's not some BS, fluffy newbie level internet marketer stuff. This is the authentic. If you want to learn Forex, this is a really good intermediate, maybe up to slightly advanced, but mostly intermediate level professional training. So intermediate and advanced content. It's not for newbies. It's not really, new traders will get a lot out of it, but we don't waste time talking about this as a pip is what I'm trying to say, unlike other courses. We will assume that you've already learned that, or you can go look it up at your leisure on the internet. We want to give you entry and exit mechanics of price patterns and exactly how to trade it. So really pleased with the way it turned out, Peter. And yeah, thank you so much for co-creating the course with me. It's something I'm very, very proud of to be a part of. So thank you for working with me on it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, Ken. I would do it again in a heartbeat. I always liked going to Vegas, and MGM Grand was a great venue for this. We had good turnout, good participation, and of course, it's a great learning experience for an audience to be there with you, to be able to ask questions, and for us to be able to work the questions on the fly with the charts that we brought with us. So yeah, it was an exciting event.
Right, and then you bring up a good point. Nowadays, according to all my surveys, nobody, and from what I say, nobody wants to go sit in a seminar room for 2 days in a row to learn trading, and you folks may not be any different than that. So here you can save, the cost of airfare and a hotel and expensive seminar fees by just investing in the recordings of the seminars, so that way you can get the same, or close to the same experience. Probably even better, because you can go back and rewatch there's a rewind button in the live seminar, but by watching the videos for Forex Success Mastery, you can rewind and go through all the videos in bite-sized chunks without the hassle of travel and TSA security and sitting next to the huge person on the airplane and having to check in at a hotel and stand in line and go sit in a seminar room for day after day. Instead, you can save all that hassle and just order the seminar. I call it a seminar in a box. It's actually digital, so nothing's shipped because people don't use DVDs much anymore. So it's a downloadable course version, and it's a really good bargain. So you guys can get ahead of that. And the main thing is look at if nothing else, I would encourage you to look at what people said about it. Social proof is important. So read all the comments, 168 plus comments, and look at all the trader video testimonials. Look at the preview videos. There's a lot of content here for everybody. So a lot of work, but worth it, like anything. Anyway, I don't know about y'all, but I'm eager to get back to charts. So order Forex Success Mastery, but it's a bonus for all of you who are sticking around. Let's take a look at some other chart patterns and see what's out there. As a trader, whenever I'm scanning, I'm always asking myself, and you may have the same experience, Peter. I ask myself, am I likely to get stopped out like this? Maybe not this one isn't too bad. Am I likely to get stopped out trading it lately? Or is it something that's likely to produce a winning trade for me? And like Peter said, you don't want to fall in love with the chart. You instead want to focus on the charts with the strongest price action. And also be part of the club that owns the knowledge to trade these things correctly. So
yeah, you can see MACD in action here, Ken. Again, we have a 1, 2, 3 top in price action, and we have MACD cutting down through its trigger line, signaling the trade. Just another example of how powerful MACD is, and of course, going short at that point and then holding your trade all the while the red line is below the green line. You don't need any other system or strategy or tip or technique. This is it. You take the short trade in this case and hold it all the while MACD is below its trigger line, and then of course MACD at the bottom tells you when to collapse that trade when it punches up through its trigger line. So just another example of why I'm so excited about MACD.
Right. And let me ask you a question about this one. Now it looks like if it goes up, it may be, if this is, say, the left side of a MACD crossover breakout, it may be worth considering. I don't know if I would wait until it gets over the 50 EMA, which I learned from you is using EMAs, not SMA, so thanks. Use the 50 and the 200 EMA. This isn't a downtrend, so it's probably not indicated for a long trade. But if one were to look for long, what would one look for on the right side of the chart? Anything come to mind?
Well, yeah, but this 1, 2, 3. This looks very much like, if you know anything about Elliott wave, this looks like a 1, 2, 3 top going down to level 3. We're in level 4 right now, and level 5 is about to unfold. So I would not be looking to go long here. if anything, we're in phase 4 of an Elliott wave, and price would probably drop from here. But that said, what I look for, or what we look for, is in a 1, 2, 3 situation like this that we have at the top, to trade it all the way down to the bottom and then get out and just
Right.
forget about it. That the trade is over. What is happening now is we're in phase 4 of Elliott wave, and anything can happen. So for me, I would be looking for another trade. I wouldn't be looking to do anything here,
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
because I made my money on this short trade, and um, that would be my answer there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And if you look at the 50 EMA, it's trending down, the red line. It's sort of like the short-term trend indicator. It to me, I don't like even considering long when the 50 EMA is doing that, when the trend is for all intents and purposes to the downside. I wouldn't be looking to go long. If anything, I'd be looking for another possibility of going short.
Makes sense. Yeah, it's
Once this price action plays out, there's nothing to be seen here. There's nothing to do here. Yeah, MACD has punched up through his trigger line, but I'd still need to see how price action unfolds. It looks like price action is going to go sideways. MACD could roll over. Right now, I'm just more in tune with with price action. We've had the swoon down to where your arrow is now. Price is going sideways. MACD could very well roll over. But if I were to see, for example, a 1, 2, 3 bottom here that I believed in, I'd keep my eye on that. But like I said, for this particular trade, I'd be looking at another pair right now.
okay. That's good. And that's one thing that really helps. Once you learn these strategies from Peter and myself, you'll learn how to become decisive in your entries and your exits, and you'll learn not only the best patterns to trade, but the signals to use to generate entries and exits that you can use over and over again, for a lifetime, whether using the MACD crossover technique or using it in combination with my breakout technique. Those are the kind of patterns, everybody, that you'll be learning about in Forex Success Mastery. I know Peter and I both put a tremendous amount of work into this course, and it's been popular with traders who've ordered it so far, and we certainly hope that all of you will order it as well. We've got just a few minutes left, so let's wrap up with a look at some of the features that we haven't yet touched on for the course. In case I like to answer questions that traders have, so we can answer frequently asked questions. What is this page all about? Well, it's a preview of a system that you can order that's a downloadable course where you can download videos. It's not a streaming course. We decided the previews are streaming, but we decided to make it downloadable so that you don't have to remember a login and password and a website and all that. So you can download the videos to your hard drive and keep them for life. There's no limit on how long you can keep the videos for. They're yours for lifetime, so they're yours. There's a preview video here that has an explanation of everything that's in it, plus some of our video testimonials. A look at what the physical course looked like, and much more. Now this video is kind of nifty. I'm gonna put it on mute, but basically we can play it without the music and the talking. Peter Bain and Ken Calhoun present. It's just a quick 2-minute video, and there's a downloadable version of it too that you can look at. But anyway, this guy is telling you all about the picture-in-picture pro video coaching approach. And so we talk to you while each chart's being explained. And that's a feature that's not available in any other trading system out there I've ever seen. And it was a monster of work to get done, but it's worth it because it accelerates your learning progress that much faster, because rather than, say, looking at people a long distance at a seminar, you can see us talking to you in the videos. And so this video explains everything that you need to know about that. Anyway, back to it. back to the page. There's a lot of content on this page, and we're not going to go through it all for you right now, but I would encourage you to look at it at your leisure. It's a very good course that gives you very detailed explanations of things you need to learn if you're going to be a Forex trader. And the best thing about it is very intelligently tells you step by step what entry and exit signals to look for. We put together some very professional, very expensive videos to help explain, the progress in the system and what you get. It's professionally mastered. It does include PDFs. People always ask, and Peter put together an enormous amount of work for his PDFs, as did I, and those are included with your system as well. So really proud of it, and it's, it covers everything you need to know about entries, exits, trade management, profit taking, the breakout, the pivot patterns, advanced stuff that you don't see anywhere else, captured for you exclusively in this live seminar that Peter and I did. Peter, any other thoughts on this? Because I'm really proud of it.
Yeah, my mind is racing as you're talking, Ken, because another thing I talked about was one of my favorite topics is Tom DeMark trend lines, and I did cover that. And it's an important topic because it enables you to do price projections. In other words, in this course, I show you how to not only draw a Tom DeMark trend line, be it a support line or a resistance line, but I also show you how to do price projections, which are very powerful. Tom DeMark is the only guy on this planet I'm aware of who knows how to draw trend lines properly. Everything I know about trend lines I learned from him. So it's just one more example of what you'll find in this course. Of course, another popular topic of mine is pivot points. I just love pivot points. I go into those in detail in terms of how to create your pivot points, how to interpret them, where to buy, where to sell, the meaning of price action in relation to the pivot points. Those are two things that come to mind as we're going through these various images here.
Right, and they're very useful. The main thing that I like about this system is it's very complete in its explanations. It gives you very detailed, not only action plans, but how to set entries, stops, targets, how to use Peter's MACD crossover, shotgun trades, my breakouts, acceleration ramps, success accelerators, specific technical breakout and pivot point patterns that make sense to use. And overall, it's just a really good, thoughtful system that walks you step by step through a very professional approach to trading the currency markets very intelligently. And Peter and I really put our heads together and teamed up to give you guys the best of our techniques. This is the very best of decades of experience that he and I have captured for you in one easy-to-use system. And again, it's not, it used to be physical DVDs, now it's downloadable videos, which is even more convenient. So we do not ship physical DVDs. You get a downloadable course, and we tell you all about the features and benefits. Oh yeah, another thing.
Of course, yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry to jump in, Ken. It just something occurred to me. Another thing I cover, in addition to the myriad of topics that we cover here, is candles. Everything I know about candlesticks I learned from Steve Nissen, the candlestick expert. But I have crystallized his interpretation of candles down to the three that I like to work with the most, and I cover those three in this course. And of course, the three that I cover are the ones that are distinct in terms of addressing price reversal. In other words, if you want to know when price is going to shift gears and go in the other direction, there are three candle patterns that Steve talks about that are very powerful, and those are covered in this course. So I could go on and on. One of the things I learned from you, Ken, is the cup breakout, which is very powerful, and your use of ADX in relation to cup breakouts. I think this course is well worth the price, given that it's the level that it's priced at and the amount of content that's in here. I know that I showed up at this seminar in Vegas with everything I knew about the Forex. I spent 6 months pulling together information I had on the Forex that I've used successfully, and it's all in here. Of course, you did the same, so this was quite an outstanding event.
Right, and it's we also include lots of bonuses too. I'm not going to go through them in detail. You can look at them, but downloads of premium courses that Peter and I have done together. And it's now available for you at www.forexsuccessmastery.com. So we hope that you'll join all the other system owners who have ordered this course. It's been very popular for the world's traders. I wanted to wish you the best. So on behalf of Peter Bain and myself, I wanted to say thanks, Peter. I always learn new things from you. It's good at like that one to avoid the trade for the breakout. I learned what not to trade as well as what to trade. So I always learn new things from you. I wanted to thank you for that. Very sensible, very intelligent. You know what you're talking about. You're the go-to guy for Forex, the most trusted name out there. And I'm no slouch myself on breakouts and good volatile trade setups. And together, we really team up to give you the very best of many, many years of experience captured for you at forexsuccessmastery.com. So order your system now. And Peter, thanks so much. Any other thoughts?
Yeah, Ken, thank you very much for the invite to be here today. I always look forward to working with you, and it's always exciting to talk about this particular course because you and I put an awful lot of work into it, and we're both proud to represent this to our audience. And thanks to our audience members for taking the time to be with us today. We don't take your time for granted. And thanks again, Ken, and we hope to see you all next time.
Thanks. Goodbye, everybody.